Do you know that Ivy League universities like Harvard, Princeton, and Yale receive over 50,000 applications every year, but they accept less than 5% of the students every year? That means it's not just about getting high grades, it's about standing out. Hi, I'm Jaisurya. I'm the founder of Project Ivy, an Ivy League graduate myself. Through Project Ivy, I help students from India and across the world prepare their profiles to get into top universities across the world. Every week, we share insider information, strategies, and tools which will help you gain clarity in the admission process and build your career the way you intend to. Now, the first question students always ask me is, what's the right approach to build your profile for Ivy Leagues? A lot of people think that it's about stacking achievements or just chasing certificates. But here's the truth. Top universities don't look at a list of activities. They're looking for authenticity, depth, and growth in your activities that are true to your interests. Let me ask you this. If someone were to look at your profile today, would they look at a student who's just following the crowd and just ticking the checkboxes, or a student who's genuinely interested and passionate about what they're doing? Drop the answer in your comments. I want to see how you see your own profile right now. At Project Ivy, we have analyzed websites and essay prompts of not just Ivy Leagues, but top 100 universities globally. And we have identified top 5 to 6 qualities that majority of these universities look for. The very first thing and the most obvious is that they look at academic rigor. But let's just clarify, this doesn't mean just scoring high marks. What they really want to see is whether you have challenged yourself academically and intellectually. For example, did you pick advanced courses or electives in your school that stretched your abilities? Have you explored your academic interests outside your classroom? Maybe through online courses, research projects, or summer programs? This is where intellectual curiosity comes in. Universities want to admit students who love learning for the sake of learning. That could mean exploring a subject beyond what is taught in the classroom or your textbook, or writing a paper on a subject or a topic that interests you. And here's the most important part. Curiosity is visible in patterns. If your application shows consistent effort towards deepening your knowledge in one area, it tells the admission team that you're someone who will really thrive in their academically rigorous environment. So think about it. In your academic journey so far, where have you gone beyond the textbook? Was it in math, business, literature, or even coding? Now, academic rigor is just the foundation. What universities really value beyond this is proactive problem solving. So what does that mean? It's not about waiting for someone to give you a task or a problem to solve for, but it's about taking initiative, looking out for problems and solving them yourself. For example, maybe you have noticed that your school's debate club is not getting enough participation. So you redesign how these events can be conducted and double the turnout. Or maybe you have realized that your neighborhood does not have a proper recycling system. So you created a small initiative with your friends to clear and sort out waste. It doesn't really have to be world changing. What matters is you've identified a gap and took ownership of solving that. Universities absolutely love that. It shows that you're not just a thinker, but also a doer. And remember, it's not just about the final result. Admission committees actually pay attention to the process. How you thought out of the problem, what steps you took, and what you learned along the way. Problem solving naturally connects to another aspect that sets applicants apart, that is leadership and initiative. When most students hear leadership, they think about maybe being the school captain, leader of a club, or holding an official title. But here's the truth. Universities care less about the titles and more about the impact. Leadership is really about taking initiative and influencing your community in a positive way. You don't have to wait to be chosen for a position. You can create opportunities yourself. Imagine you're passionate about coding. Instead of waiting to be the leader of your school tech club, you can take your own initiative, create a peer workshop for your juniors to help them build simple apps. That's leadership. What admissions team look for is not for a badge or a title, but whether you have inspired others, created something meaningful, and showed persistence. Once you combine initiative with leadership, the next step is to be showing whether you can sustain it over time. One of the biggest mistakes students do in profile building is to try to do 10 things at a time. They attend 10 clubs, dozens of workshops, collect certificates, but it all looks shallow. Top universities don't want to see number. They're looking for consistency and progress. They want to look at a few areas that you're genuinely interested about, and what they value is, have you persistently stuck with them and have shown growth in those areas? Think about this. Would you rather show them that you have dabbled in 10 different areas but had no meaningful achievement, or you have over a period of 3 years stuck with 2 or 3 different areas and had an impact on them? The second one always wins. Now let's also talk about something that every university deeply values. A lot of students misunderstand this. they think spending a weekend at an NGO or doing a couple of days of charity work would count as community service. But admission officers can clearly tell when a community service is just a checkbox versus a genuine commitment. True community service is about empathy and sustained effort. It's about identifying a need around you and trying to make even a small difference. For example, maybe you have noticed that the kids of your maids or helpers at the house do not have access to quality English classes. So you decide to start a weekend tutoring group. Or maybe you have created Google business profiles for multiple local shops and businesses that did not have access to such kind of computer or internet. These might not be global campaigns, but they show real initiative, community impact, and persistence. We have discussed things like academic rigor, problem solving, leadership, community service, and consistency. Now, you might be wondering, how do I build activities for each of these? But these need not be looked upon as separate things. In a single activity, in fact, you can show community service, leadership, and consistency. So think through your profile building activities in such a way that they show more than one of these values. Hope that was helpful. But before we wrap up this video, let's end this with a poll. In profile building, what matters more, depth or breadth? Depth is showing mastery in one or two areas consistently over a period of time, versus breadth, showing skills across a wide range of areas. Let me know in the comments, along with your explanation. And if you want help in your profile building, do reach out to us.